I'm going to ask you now the converse question. So we've had a couple candidates who have said, Wilton is this affluent town. Why
Sort
are
of. Yeah.
why are we penny pinching when it comes to, town hall being in a state where the column falls down, or employers are working with coats on, or, we've scrimped and saved, but you're now facing, what is it, $150 million worth of capital improvements that we have to make over the next 10 years. Is it time to maybe say to residents, we have to dig deep a little bit more and represent Wilton in the way it should be represented?
Yeah, I'm there. I have numerous thoughts on that, but I guess okay, with the $150 million in deferred maintenance, I guess I need to dig further where that number came from. Was that one person's kind of wish list, or is that, or can you take the 150 million and like, again, this is how I'd attack any problem is break it down into bits. Okay, so out of the 150 million, like what needs to be done in the next 3 years? What needs to be done in the next 6 years? What needs to be done in the next 10 years? What would be wonderful, but we're never going to have, so get rid of it. You know what I mean? So is it really 150 million or is it 120 or 130? Like, I don't know. It might really be 150. I don't know, but that's the kind of thing I'd want to start by digging deeper into that and then breaking it up in terms of priorities. And sure, if a column's falling off the front of town hall, like it should be fixed, obviously. But I did this kind of just real quick comparison of our peer groups and looking at, population and looking at like our budget. So Wilton has our annual budget's around, our annual budget is 141 million, give or take, 141 and a half million. So that's the smallest budget. Like Westport's 236, New Canaan's 181, Darayen's 184, Ridgefield's 175. So we do have the smallest budget right now, but we also have one of the highest mill rates. Our mill rate's 23.9, whereas Westport, their budget is almost double our size almost, and their mill rate is 18.9 versus our 23.9. So, and I'm like, well, why is that? But it's because they have more dense housing and they have more houses. They have, 9,600 households where we have 6,200. So they have more households, and a house in Westport, just I guess because their amenities, is going to cost more. Like if my house here in Wilton gets assessed at X, it's going to probably be X plus a premium in Westport because they have Campo Beach and they have that concert hall and all that. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that Wilton historically, we've had 2 acre zoning and we've been kind of more low key and we have less amenities, but we have this very high mill rate. Um, so do we tell people like, okay, it's time to pony up and spend more? Like, I'm not sure because I've been doing a lot of door knocking and basically, uh, people do complain about the amenities, the lack of amenities here, but also people are like, why is our mill rate so high when we don't get what like Westport has? So, I think it's a fine line. I'm going to go back. I'm not sure I'm totally answering your question. Like, I think that it's important that before we just go spend more and say like, okay, it's time. Like we've always like again, we have the smallest budget of any of our peer group. It's smaller than Westport, New Canaan, Darien, Ridgefield. It's smaller than all of them. So could we spend a little more? Uh, Probably, but I'm not sure it would be for the Board of Ed. It would probably be for the deferred capital investment, that 150 million or whatever that we seem to think we're missing. Um, but I don't think you can take it lightly to just tell people like, yes, we're a wealthy town, but also our median household income is lower than say Westport, but that makes sense because again, the houses are worth more there and they have more amenities. So I guess if I was on the Board of Finance, I'd go through the budget and come up with the budget and be very aware that while some people have a lot of money in Wilton, a lot of people, there's people in Wilton that don't have a lot of money and that don't take, a minor increase very well. Like I go out to dinner with people and they're like, oh my gosh, my property taxes, blah, blah, blah. And some are people that can afford to pay higher taxes and some are people that can't. So I just think it's a fine line. And I don't know if that answered your question. Like, I don't think we should go on some spending binge. I do think that maybe we saved, I think that maybe we cut too many expenses in the past, that maybe, combining the two CFOs for Board of Ed and the town into one was probably a bad idea. I think it's good they're split out again now. Having 150 million in deferred maintenance, like that's bad. That probably shouldn't have happened. So, but I don't think that means we go on a spending spree, but, I would try to be responsible and explain to people that complained why we have to do what we're doing.